Okay, so let's see what's going on in the world today. Right now, we can see that there's quite a lot of stuff going on. So I've got a few lists set up right there. We have got my actual Twitter feed. We have the US government, we have the Trump bloodline, we have the British government, we have breaking news, and we have the US government Department of Justice. So, oh, somebody's trying to get Attorney General Sessions to resign currently. And you also have people pointing out that the NFL stuff has been going on for a long time. We've got Heather Heather. She wants to continue doing deconflict ops with Russia, but has stated that Russian officials are not helping with this. You've got, apparently, there's a FBI sketch has been released of a man suspected of setting off a pipe bomb on September the 6th at the East Chicago Post Office. Looks as if it's Scott Adams wearing a hoodie. So Scott Adams, I presume he's now on the run. Iran's supposed missile launch was a fake, US officials tell Fox News. A fake? Fake missiles now. You thought fake news was bad, you've now got fake missiles. This is not going well. Oh, today is National First Responders Day, according to Gary Sinnes. Now, Gary actually has a foundation dedicated to the military, presumably because during Forrest Gump, he proceeded to lose his legs and some other stuff. Well, he didn't lose his legs. Did he lose his legs? It's like one of the most famous parts of his character, and I've completely forgotten what it is. Right. So let's also see what's going on in TD. A statement from QB Big Ben. I was unable to sleep last night and want to share my thoughts and feelings on our team's decision to remain in the tunnel for the national anthem yesterday. The idea was to be unified as a team when so much attention is paid to things dividing our country, but I wish we approached it differently. We did not want to appear divided on the sideline with some standing and some kneeling or sitting, similar to that episode of South Park. As a team, it was not a protest of the flag or the anthem. I personally don't believe the anthem is ever the time to make any type of protest. For me and many others on my team and around the league, it is a tribute to those who commit to serve and protect our country, current and past, especially the ones that made the ultimate sacrifice. I appreciate the unique diversity in my team and throughout the league and completely support the call for social change and the pursuit of true equality. Moving forward, I hope standing for the anthem shows solidarity as a nation, that we stand united in respect for the people on the front lines protecting our freedom and keeping us safe. God bless those men and women. Now, one of the links that I saw before, it might be in Rising, actually showed Copernic agreeing that Hillary Clinton should be in jail. I believe I have the link somewhere. I'm getting messages. Hang on. It says here, dude, boost your audio output. Well, it might be because I am being quiet. So maybe this is a little bit louder. Oh wait, no, it's because I've got, I know what it is. Okay. Is that better? Is that louder? Guess it'll take him a few seconds to actually respond. Can barely hear me. Right, hang on. Right, I've moved the microphone closer to me. Right, so clearly that was the solution. Right. I'm convinced that there was a Colin Kaepernick video. It's gotta be around here somewhere. Okay, so where are you, you bastard? It might be quicker if I actually just go straight into YouTube. And then if I check my history, there it is. Oh wait, hang on. I know where I fucked up there. Back to the beginning. Let's increase that. There we go. Let's try again. Oh wait, hang on. I know where I fucked up there. Back to the beginning.
I mean, once again, it wasn't a timing thing. It wasn't something that was planned.
There we go.
But
let's try again.
I think the two presidential candidates that we currently have also represent the issue that we have in this country right now. Once again, it wasn't a timing thing. It wasn't something that was planned.
I mean, I think I can already see what the issue is here when it comes to doing both at once.
Or black kids super predators. You have Donald Trump, who's openly racist. I mean, we have a presidential candidate who's deleted emails and done things illegally, and is a presidential candidate. That doesn't make sense to me, because if that was any other person, you'd be in prison. So, what is this country really standing for? And is a presidential candidate. That doesn't make sense to me, because if that was any other person, you'd be
so, there you go. There's Colin Kaepernick stating that, you know, things are done. If I go to... So, there you go. There's Colin Kaepernick stating that, you know... I think, yeah, I've just figured out what the issue was that was causing the double speak or the re-listening or, you know, my voice being repeated again. It's because I had the volume on, because I had the live stream open next to me. So I just turned the volume down. So that problem should not reoccur. So we can now have both of them at once. Right, let's see if there's any new updates out there at all. What's this one? Somebody called Jamil Betts, age 26 of Washington, D.C., has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for a pair of violent attacks in southeast Washington, including a murder. U.S. Attorney Jessie K. Lew announced today. Now, Jessie K. Lew is a Trump pick. She is a Trump U.S. attorney. I believe she's also the one that is dealing with the Owan brothers case as well. So apparently she's arrested somebody. She's arrested a Rothschild, whether that's an actual member of the Rothschild family or not, I don't know. The murder victim was somebody called Andre McConnell. Whew. How can you fake a missile? Unless they do it using the same kind of thing as North Korea, where they just keep using propaganda videos and it doesn't really actually go anywhere. But you can see there's quite a few people in my regular home feed. So you can see there's a dude there called Matt Couch. Now, if you don't know who Matt Couch is, he is a private investigator who is currently investigating the Seth Rich case. Now, he's got quite a bit of good information, but obviously he doesn't have everything. So hopefully one day he might solve it. I mean, I've got quite a bit of information. I have a lot of random images and general connections between everybody. See, this is the issue, because I don't quite know what else to bring up. I don't know what kind of information to focus on, or what streams to add, or whatever. Which is, guess what the problem was when I was having when I was speaking on the Discord before, saying, what should I have open? Let's have a look. In case you can't see that properly, it says, reporter, do you have anything to say about the NFL? Secretary Mattis, I'm the Secretary of Defense. We defend the country. Why are you asking Mattis about the National Felons League? Okay? That is got to be one of the mainstream media is an absolute joke. It is such a mess. The pure representation of this is this guy. It's this guy right here. It's him. He is... That's amazing. I've not seen that one before, but I presume that's in relation to the poem on the Statue of Liberty. Oh, God. This guy is an absolute joke. He's a joke. He's got a fucking beret. I do miss that guy. I do miss Spicy Sean, as it were. He was a top-notch kind of guy. Went on to the Emmys as a double agent and completely destroyed them. You know, I think it was so England absolutely hates this guy. Just in case you wanted to know this piece of information, but James Corden is just an absolute a UK disgrace. So when he left for America, we celebrated. You can see right here that he's look at this. He is disappointed in himself after kissing Sean Spicer while drunk. What an absolute tool! I mean, this is a dude who seriously should just be banned from coming back from the UK as it is. And then he does this. He's like, oh, I was drunk. Oh, I had a little bit of fun. Oh, I mean, I know I'm a comedian in quotation marks, but I just had a little bit of fun. I thought, why invite him if you're gonna be upset about chilling out with Spicer when you're drunk at the Emmys? Why invite him? Why invite James Corden to the Emmys when there's literally hundreds of other people who could go? Sean Spicer could have been hanging out with anybody else, and his time was taken up by this man, this person who should be banned from American television, who should be banned from British television, who should be banned from freaking Al Jazeera, banning from Al Jazeera, banning from every single news outlet. He's a man who should just... I don't advocate for Stalin's regime often, but we should just unperson James Corden immediately. Similar to the idea of unpersoning Jim Acosta, but I'm sure that Jim would probably claim that there's a poem about on the other side of the Statue of Liberty about how Stalin's regime was an absolute mess. Let's see if we've got any other updates. But yeah, you can see here that I've got a load of different sections for the tweet deck. You've got the US government, which is every single department. I have one for the US government cabinet. Oh, apparently Trump's just signed something. He signed a presidential memorandum expanding access to computer science and STEM education for K-12 students in the US. What happens if I just click this? Oh, cool. It just brings it up. So, yep, you can see that there's some kid making a really silly face in the back. You can see Betsy DeVos, Ivanka looking as if she's just walked out of a church. You can see, I don't know what's going on with that kid that stood next to Ivanka. There are a lot of kids in that room. The Oval Office is big, but it's not that big. Calm down, guys. USAID's Global Development Center supports youth. Ah, that's just a bog standard thing. Doesn't look as if anything else is happening there, so let's go back to it. Just gonna ask a quick question. I'm gonna kind of mess around. It still says it's streaming on here. It's being silly on here. But then again, I suppose I could just click enter and it should work fine. Right, okay, cool. Yeah, so what happened there was like my live stream just kind of stopped randomly. So at least I now know that it works fine. Right, okay, so what else can we look at? Yep, good work, Robert Engel. Had a gun, shot a dude, wearing a Superman shirt. That's how it rolls. That's how you get it done. This NFL business. The NFL is a mess. It's a mess, guys. I mean, I posted up a huge website dedicated to NFL arrests, and I mean, I had a dude try and argue with me about how the NFL attempts to he started saying, why are you generalizing the NFL? I'm like, I didn't make that website. That website already existed before I got there. And then he was all, well, you're clearly generalizing because you're trying to say that they're all criminals. I said, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that they hire criminals. I'm not saying that they're all criminals because that's a generalization. I completely disagree with that notion that I'm generalizing. It's not my fault if the NFL happens to hire people with active criminal records that are allowed to commit crime and get away with it because they're multi-millionaires. And as they're saying, oh, people shouldn't care about that unless it's the majority being over 50%. And they're thinking, what? What? 50%? So we should just let the NFL continue gathering more and more crimes as if they're freaking Pokemon until we hit 50% of the Pokedex. So I just thought, this is an absolute... The dude just drove me nuts. I think he was more pissed off about the fact that we started calling it the National Felons League than he was about the actual crime statistics. He was a mess. And then I got another message from... it was actually the first time in months where I've had people from other boards messaging me about random crap. But another person messaged me saying, why do you hate the NFL? I'm like, no, I don't. But they hire criminals. The end. This is just a part of their life. I mean, Ray Rice, for instance, as people brought up. I don't really know much about it, but I think he was the guy who attacked someone in an elevator. It's either him with the elevator or... I swear it was somebody who did dog fighting. Maybe I'm just imagining... Maybe I'm thinking of The Wire. Maybe I'm thinking of The Wire when I'm thinking of dog fighting. I can't help but feel as if that someone was done for dogfighting, though. I do have that in my head. There's a picture of Anthony Weiner. Michael Vick. Okay, Michael Vick. Yeah, I knew there was some loser out there who wanted to quarterback for the Eagles. Damn. Wonder what Michael Vick's up to right now. Michael Vick. Oh, he's a former American footballer. Okay. What are you up to? Bankruptcy. That was back in 2008. Vick has lobbied for HR 2492, the Animal Fighting Spectator Prohibition Act, which would establish federal misdemeanor penalties for spectators of illegal animal fighting and make it a felony for adults to bring children to fights. Okay. Oh, he's got so many of these that he might actually enter the DMX zone. Oh, he's a coaching intern for the Kansas City Chiefs. You see, this guy... Oh, he got hired afterwards. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And there you have it, right? This guy will be on the NFL arrests record, and... Why are you rehiring this man? Why? Oh, he has a promising career. Right, but he also fights dogs. Of course he's a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sure he'd be one of the ones kneeling. God, oh, there's the James Corden again. So I actually have a rare Pepe version of that, where Pepe's face is in front of the is on the judge's head. That will be unleashed tomorrow. I will reveal it. What else is going on? Nobody's messaging me. Fucking hell. DeMaurice Smith, Executive Director of the NFL Players Association, was once counsel for Eric Holder. Yes, they all do enjoy being thoroughly connected, don't they? I wonder if DeMaurice Smith has been involved in anything else that we know of. Nope, I don't have any articles dedicated to that man at this current time. That's a shame. I thought he might have been appearing somewhere else. Maybe we can find him. Whoop. Yes, Google please. Yes, you heard me. Google please. DeMaurice Smith. Let's see what we can find out about him. Let's go back in time. Let's go back before the Trump election. So we'll start off at the end right here. Boom. Aha! So here we go. Here's an article. Quarterback for a team of 1,900. We are at war, DeMaurice Smith yelled. Mr. Smith, the hard-charging executive director of the union that represents 1,900 NFL players, was pacing in a conference room in downtown Washington. Sitting before him were nearly 20 professional players, all recently elected to represent their fellow athletes. They'd listened as this former federal prosecutor and corporate lawyer called for them to be leaders for their union, the National Football League's Players Association. They are facing the unthinkable. No professional football next year if the NFL owners and players cannot reach a collective bargaining agreement by March the 3rd. At this meeting last Tuesday morning, Mr. Smith, known as D, had the attention of the player reps. Although only 5 feet 9 inches tall, diminutive by football standards, he is powerful both in his build and in his ability to command the room. Thoroughly dapper, he took off his black and white pinstripe suit jacket with its pocket square flare even, and weaved in and out among them, his voice ever rising. Nobody gets strong without fighting, Mr. Smith, 46, said to the players. Nobody stays strong without fighting. Nobody negotiates their way to strength. Nobody talks their way to a good deal. Nobody sits down and just has things miraculously happen. I think, Mr. Smith, I feel as if that's a version of the Trump curse, because I do believe that Donald Trump has completely and utterly proven that very sentence wrong, considering the fact that, you know, he wrote the deal out of the deal. He's president. He's completely running circles around North Korea currently. He will need his eloquence and toughness in the coming months. Talks with the league are at an impasse. And then it goes on a little bit more. This is an article that I think I'm going to want to keep. Ooh, there we go. Roger Goodell. See, I don't really know much about the NFL. I'm somebody who only watches the Super Bowl for obvious reasons. Because I live in the UK, so I can only watch the Super Bowl. Is kind of big enough where I take a day off to go to my friend's house and watch it. And usually we just pick one side to follow. It's going to be really difficult because the only side that I now want to follow is the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys were the only ones who just said, you're fired if you kneel, you're done, we will blacklist you. So what I appreciate about that is the fact that Trump has explicitly said, and he's forced it, is that if you kneel, then you're going against all of these people during the anthem moving forward, and he's given them an out as well. So if the people continue to kneel instead of forming unity and bonding together, which is Trump's general message, then it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And as you can tell from all of the what's it called? God, what is the word I am trying to think of? I wonder if, hang on, if I might be able to do this. I'm just going to test something right now. Let's go to, this is, I already have this, but it was just sent, so I might as well put it right there. I think that should be coming live any second. This just got sent, so I thought I'd just put it up since I already had it. My point is that Trump could literally and utterly break the NFL. They've already been booed at a lot. In fact, can I drag up one of them NFL boo montages? I mean, let's get rid of Colin Cook-Pernick and let's go for NFL boo. Steelers classic. Today. That's the boycott. Let's go for this one. Okay, let's see if we can find... Ooh, this might be better. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think you can safely say that that was pretty spicy. That was damn. That's how you know you just got wrecked. I mean, what can you even say about that? Let's have a quick look over now to see what news is currently in, and there has been an event with Secretary Zink and others at the National Petroleum Council meeting featuring Rick Perry. Rick Perry, never gonna give you up. And the Nasdaq sinks nearly 1% as tech stocks slump. Facebook, Netflix, and Nvidia lose more than 4% each. Oh, hang on, something's developing. Police shut down streets in downtown Las Vegas after person leaving courthouse intentionally hit by car and the driver fled. So someone's just been knocked the fucked down. I guess that's still developing at this time. I don't know if there would be any videos of this particular thing, but there you go. You can see a few pictures there. Clearly things are happening. Somebody's also just been delivered some justice. Federal agent, Colombian narcotics kingpin, Colombian national, indicted for conspiracy, corruption, and obstruction. Let's have a quick goosey at this. A Homeland Security Investigations special agent and 2 Colombian nationals were charged today by a federal grand jury in the Southern District of Florida with conspiracy, corruption, and obstruction of justice charges stemming from their participation in a bribery scheme that resulted in the dismissal of an indictment filed against one of the Colombian nationals in exchange for cash and other things of value. Woo! So that's Special Agent Christopher C. Sisson II, 52, and 2 members of the Cali cartel, including Jose Piedrahita Ceballos, a Colombian national. I think I pronounced that name right. I feel as if I did a pretty good job then. Surprisingly, I thought I was going to absolutely balls it, but I think I hit the nail on the head. So that seems pretty. Oh, damn! I forgot to unsize that. That's my mistake there. Didn't even realize. But yeah, sounds as if some crazy crap is going on. I wonder if we can find any information on Christopher V. Sisson. Let's have a goosey. Okay, so there's been nothing about him recently. Well, he's barely mentioned, I can confirm that much. I can barely find any information on this guy. Oh, hang on. I've got his LinkedIn here. I am concerned about opening that though, because it might actually have my real name on there, so I'm gonna actually avoid that as much as I want to open it. But you know, it says right there, Special Agent at US Department of Homeland Security. That's pretty awkward. Hang on a second here. Meet the drug trafficker behind a Trump complex in Panama. Luis Parguioles Castano, one of the investors in the Trump Ocean Club in Panama, led a double life. American businessman Luis Parguioles Castano made a good impression when he moved to Colombia 10 years ago. He spoke fluent English and very good Spanish, and he boasted of connections in the international financial world, including real estate mogul Donald Trump. The US Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency had a different view of Parguioles. One ICE agent tracked him for years, and a US federal court in Miami eventually convicted the businessman of investing in shipments of Colombian cocaine. His Trump connection was made public when Parguioles appeared in court during a preliminary hearing following his arrest in April 2009. Defense attorney Norman Moskowitz declared that he had invested in the Trump Ocean Club and had been involved in the project for several years. The lawyer also noted that Parguioles had invested $5 million into the Hard Rock Hotel in Panama. Okay, all of Parguioles' public biographies, still available online, highlight his participation in the Trump Ocean Club, the Trump Organization flagship project in Panama, as evidence of his vast experience developing national and international businesses. So let's just scroll down a little bit. Let's see if I can spot that guy's name, because he is in here. Where are you? Oh, here we go. The double life. The problems for Parguioles, who was born in Chicago, started when he met with convicted drug trafficker Gabriel Afandor Solano in 2002. Parguioles had been selling oil drilling equipment to Colombian companies and was introduced to Afanador by Gustavo Martello Smith, another convicted drug trafficker. ICE agent Christopher Sisson declared that when Parguioles found out these names Afanador was a drug trafficker, he offered to make a $110,000 investment in one drug shipment. The businessman paid through the Remy Capital Company and his account in the Colpatria Bank in the Cayman Islands. The money went into an Afanador account in the First Union Bank. I'm just going to make this image a little bit bigger again so you can see Louis' passport from Colombia is right there. You can see that it's been signed off by the General Counsel of Colombia, Jose Fernando Gomez Mora. You can see that it was issued. I used to think it was issued back in 2002, expired in 2012. So pretty interesting. Let's shrink that back down again. Afanador, then living in Aventura, Florida, came to the attention of the US Drug Enforcement Administration some weeks later after an informant identified him as a powerful trafficker who sent drug-laden ships from the Colombian port of Cartagena to Jamaica and from there to Mexico, where his partners smuggled the drugs into the United States. Sisson then staged a sting operation with the help of Carl Hedrick, a ship's captain who met with Afanador to coordinate a shipment of about 600 kilos of cocaine. So, sounds like he's led a pretty interesting life, just in that one article alone. Madonna's brother Christopher Sisson's birthday. I'm sure they're not the same guy. Anything else happened recently? Let's have a quick goosey. Sioux Falls SD, South Dakota police surround downtown library in standoff with parolee SWAT on scene. Whew, spicy. Very, very spicy. Let's see if there's anything posted new over here. Well, he is right. It is kind of weird that one sentence has caused absolute destruction to the NFL. He is completely correct in that remark. No one cares what LeBron James has to say. Well, yeah. Obviously. It's not about disrespect of our flag. It is now. You're going to try and argue it's not. But it is. Trump has completely and utterly changed the meaning of it. I mean, this is going to be completely irrelevant, but actually, I don't know whether I can. Can I show it? It's probably best that I don't. What else can we bring up right this second? What would be interesting? Well, Future Yesterday's just posted something, so I might as well open it. Let's have a look. So this is Iran's supposed missile launch was fake. Those madmen. Iranian state television released video footage Friday claiming to show the launch of a new type of medium-range ballistic missile a few hours after it was displayed during a military parade in Tehran. But it turns out Iran never fired a ballistic missile. Oh, fuck. Iran. Why? That's a picture. Why? What am I doing with this? Let's see. Well, this is the first time I'm going to test this. Let's give it a try. I think if I just double click this. Alright, I think that's it. I think that should just come up normally. So I now officially know how to swap out the images really easily. I wonder if there are any live streams right now. Oh, Sublime and Slime has just posted something. Let's get that on.
O'Donnell is here live on Monday Night Raw. He's still here. And Mr. Trump not coming alone. I like how he travels. Donald Trump is in a world he is not familiar
Oh, this is good.
This is not real estate. This is the WWE. Oh, no! Oh, Mark Sleep with a spear! Mark Sleep with a spear! Hey, look at this! Oh, my God! What the hell? The ring just imploded! The ring blew up!
Well, I've just got to see that.
Oh, no!
Just the way how the ring completely goes.
Hey, look at this!
Like somebody, I feel as if somebody's actually added the fire in the hole if he's just taken CNN straight to hell. That was absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Tim Pool's posted something. Let's have a quick goosey at this. Let's make this a little bit bigger again. You're not really going to be able to see that, unfortunately. ACLU flyer at UC Berkeley calls Milo, Ann Coulter, and Bannon white supremacists. Do they not know of any other words whatsoever? White supremacists such as Milo Yiannopoulos, Ann Coulter, and Steve Bannon use a series of tricks to disguise their hatred. They scapegoat, fearmonger, manipulate statistics, ignore history and context, and use false equivalencies to try and represent their bigoted views as the frontier of free speech. Wow, I have never heard of such doublespeak in my entire life. It is incredibly doublespeak. I mean, the fearmonger, you're calling them all white supremacists. That is fearmongering by definition, because you're giving them a label that they don't deserve. It's insane. Future Yesterday is currently arguing the idea that you can absolutely murder Iran at any point. I fully expect Secretary of Defense Future Yesterday to deliver on this. The death toll of Puerto Rico from Hurricane Maria has just reached 16 people. If you want to participate in a hashtag campaign, I would strongly recommend that you put PR strong, not pray for Puerto Rico. However, if you are anywhere near the vicinity of Puerto Rico, I would probably, if you can help out, I would strongly recommend it. I've just been called a cunt. That's a very offensive word, and I will have you reported to UC Berkeley's Free Speech Police any day soon. You can't just call somebody a cunt after you've just said you're going to nuke an entire country. It just doesn't work that way. So, let's have a look at what else we can find. See, it'd open up a live stream and just have it in the corner. But if I have a live stream in the corner, I'd kind of want it to not have any sound, to just kind of be there. But I guess I can figure that out at another time. So another YouTube video has just been posted. I guess I will smash this up right now. If you've not played Undertale, Undertale's actually a really good game. What is up with that guy's neck? You know this guy
So
here
your position,
actual,
tell me if I'm mischaracterizing this, is people you define as fascist do not have free speech rights.
No. My position is that communities have the right to defend themselves against groups that actively seek to eliminate members of that community.
This is great. I'll make it a little bit bigger.
Defend themselves against violence, or defend themselves against
violence? I mean, we were talking about...
No, but physical violence? So if I say, for example...
Talking about a history, a group that has a history of enacting hate crimes. Yeah, no, we're not. Are we going to pretend like we're suddenly in this ahistorical world where Dylan Roof or Wade Michael Page doesn't exist, where Anders Breivik doesn't exist? Are you kidding me?
Wonder what happened to that guy.
No, are you really a professor, by the way?
What?
He's not a real professor in the sense that
so
I don't actually think he's a real person.
Past statements that have espoused violence, or is it acts of violence?
It's
so
both.
could you?
Okay, we're talking about.
Hold on. Let me just finish my question. Could you commit violence against me if you thought that I had a history of saying things that you imagined were violent?
I would never commit violence against you. I actually, when I was younger, I was a libertarian, and I actually looked up to you when you were a libertarian.
When you were a libertarian? Holy shit.
Okay, but let's take me out of this. Okay. Let's just, I want to know, like, the concept of self-defense is a legal concept, but it's also got, like, a long history and tradition in common law. So the idea is, if I'm hitting you, if I strike you physically, if I physically commit violence against you, you have a right to commit violence back in order to protect yourself or your property.
Sure.
But you're seeming to say that anybody who has espoused ideas that have at some point in history led to violence can be the subject of violence from you. You're not saying that.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I believe it is the right for communities to get together to assess what is a threat to them and to defend themselves against that threat.
So give me an example. Like, what public figure in America right now could be shut down, could have his free speech rights taken away, and could be the subject of violence under the standards you're describing?
Well, I mean, for instance, I think that the framework here of talking about violence as opposed to talking about preserving the very freedoms that you and I both enjoy is a false one.
This is an absolute.
I mean, ultimately, we're talking about a movement that actively advocates against all the fetters of democracy. I mean, we're talking about Richard Spencer, who publishes on altright.com, publishes an article on July 28th by a man named Vincent Law, where the headline was, "To protect free speech, get rid of democracy."
Yeah, it's... They're literally trying to...
Let's use that example. I disagree with that. I haven't seen the piece, but it doesn't sound like something I'd agree with.
It's not.
Does Richard Spencer have a right to speak in public?
Richard Spencer is a danger to society. When he speaks in public, what he is doing, he is publicly recruiting people to his very violent movement, very violent ideology.
So does... Does he have a right to speak in public?
I don't think he has a right to speak in public unopposed, and that is ultimately what the purpose of Antifa is to show up and oppose him.
But it's not opposition. You shut people down, you prevent them from speaking, and you commit violence against them. I know a number of people, well, don't tell me it's untrue, I know people who've been knocked down and beaten by people from Antifa. So that is true. It does happen. We have it on tape. We just roll the tape.
Right.
So you're saying, is that justified?
Yes.
Wow.
I believe that communities have the right to defend themselves against threats to their community.
But you're using incredible violence.
Against ideas they don't like.
No,
they have a right to commit violence.
People who have explicitly said that they want to eliminate
did a massive
people
protest
from our
outside of
society.
G20. So did you protest every single world leader at once? Does every world leader just deserve to get violence against
them? You're conflating violence with ideas.
No,
if I have not raised my hand to strike you, you have no right to strike me.
But in order to raise your hand to strike me, you have to think that you're going to strike me.
This is insane.
And when you are going out in public as a protester, explicitly saying that you want to eliminate most of the people from this country, I believe most of the people in this country have the right to say, no, that's not okay.
Right. But you beat people up. Violence.
Okay, but you absolutely have a right to say it's not okay. What you don't have a right is to prevent me from saying what I think, even if you disagree, and you definitely don't have a right to commit violence against me. And you're blurring the lines there. And by the way, don't you work at a criminal?
Yes, I'm in an economics department, yes.
It's hilarious. Okay, you don't have the right to do that. You have the right to make a counter case. Do you see the distinction that I'm making?
Tucker, when I walked into this building, I counted 5 security guards at the front door and 2 police cars outside.
Right.
Are you going to tell me that the violence that they would enact against someone who is looking to do you or any number of the people that work here harm, are you going to tell me that the violence that they enact to protect preemptively the staff that are protected also by the barricades that you have?
I can see what argument he's attempting to make, but it's fucking horrendous.
I don't even know what you're talking. I'm honestly not following you.
Are you pretend that you don't have security?
Okay. So it's actually, that video was a hell of a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just going to kind of move on a little bit here. Apparently there was a picture posted. It's a GIF. I guess I'll say it. Let's see how this goes. So let's shrink this again. And let's replace the image with what I just got then. So it should be this one. It is. So this GIF will just, I guess it will just continue moving. So there you go. You now have a lovely GIF from that person's Tumblr. Might be best if I do that. Is that the name? Juliana Salimene. People just keep saying she bad, whatever that means. Oh yeah, Chelsea Manning getting banned from Canada. What an absolute joke. Be a traitor, get treated like a traitor. See, the thing about Julian, this is something that I've spoken about. I did a little Twitter thread about this, but I might as well bring it up now. So Julian Assange is essentially in a rock and a hard place, because obviously he works with people who leak direct information from all sorts of organizations. Let's face facts. And he can get, you know, he's worked with Bradley Manning, he's worked with, you know, he knows about Snowden, and he'd love it if those people got those pardons, but the traitors. Julian Assange should actually be happy that Snowden and Chelsea Manning are both still alive, because Trump himself has tweeted that in the olden days they'd be hanged for being traitors. That's pretty much all you need to know. They'd be hanged, they'd be executed, they'd be gone. So realistically speaking, Chelsea Manning should be you know, posting a status simply saying, thank God I'm still alive, hashtag we got this, with about 6,000 emoticons in it. And it's oh god, the sheer amount of emoticons. It's like you open up that Twitter and it's like walking into a pixie fever dream. It's fucking horrendous. But the point is that Assange can get that pardon. Apparently Trump doesn't actually know anything about that deal. He's mentioned that recently. He knows nothing about that pardon deal whatsoever. He only just found out about it. But Assange should get the pardon simply because you could classify him as a journalist, because he gets the information and he just releases it. He's not one of the leakers. However, leakers are traitors. You know, Reality Winner's been arrested. She's going... I don't even know where she is anymore. She definitely didn't win. We can all agree on that. She lost, and she lost horrendously. God, I wonder what... Jennifer Lawrence is also a mess. It's kind of weird, really. She used to portray herself as being that everyday girl, and then the next thing you knew, she was trying to say that hurricanes should absolutely commit genocide and wipe out everyone. So you kind of go from being I'm just an ordinary. If you go from I'm just an ordinary person to wishing that everybody dies, it's pretty steep. It's a very, very steep jump, and yeah. I'm very happy that she has quit acting for 2 years. I hope it's actually 20. I hope she never returns to the screen. But to be fair, Hollywood might be destroyed in 2 years. We might have just been so horrendously successful that Hollywood itself is just gone. Essentially, it could go at any point. I mean, have we got that stupid ass interview? Jennifer Lawrence, Irma. I kind of want just that section. Is this it?
Jennifer Lawrence, Mother Nature's
you know, it's this new language that's forming. I don't even recognize it. It's also scary to know that climate change is due to human activity, and we continue to ignore it. And the only voice that we really...
I don't want your face, mate. There's nobody done just like that specific section of the speech. Maybe it's in here. Maybe it's just in the...
I got to ask this. What on earth is going on here? Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence suggests hurricanes Harvey and Irma may be nature's wrath over President Trump's victory.
It just sounds so ridiculous. There's no situation where... Oh, God, what a fucking...
Jennifer Lawrence. Nobody should feel, you know, what my character has to feel, so I was really worried.
You feel that this woman is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't last, which is quite interesting. What happened in your own country over the last year or so?
It's scary. You know, it's this new language that's forming. I don't even recognize it. It's also scary to know it's been proven through science that human activity, that climate change is due to human activity, and we continue to ignore it, and the only voice that we really have is through voting. So
and you have voted
and we voted, and it was really startling. You know, you're watching these hurricanes now, and it's hard, especially while promoting this movie, not to feel Mother Nature's rage or wrath.
And it's not just about climate change, though, is it? In America, I mean, it seems to be a time of huge division.
I've ever heard of all.
Yeah.
It's definitely
it's
one.
really polarizing and upsetting. You know, I've heard things and seen things on TV in my own country that devastate me and make me sick, and it's just really confusing.
Do you find President Trump confusing?
I don't find him confusing. I think I know exactly what he is.
Oh! She completely smacked down President Trump. I mean, I'm with her now, okay? I've got my badge on. I'm gonna get, I don't, you know, when you're with her, you're not just with her, you get thrown into the van with her at the exact same time. You just, like, you're there in spirit, you're signing books with her at Costco, you're doing all of that good stuff. God, these people are just the messes, dudes. They've just completely and utterly fallen apart. Oh, Julian Assange. Is Julian Assange listening to me? Because he's completely disagreed. Manning is not a felon. She was found to have disciplinary violations in the military justice system of disclosing info to the press only. Oh. He's really pissed off at Canada because of Canada permanently banning Manning. I don't know why that was so funny to me. Let's see what other stuff's going on. Betsy DeVos deserves credit for protecting the rule of law and restoring Title IX to the original mission. Vice President Pence has visited the Space Station Science Command Center. Apparently it's live. Can I get to it now? Oh, it's a... Aw! Wait, what? Maybe I just opened up the wrong thing. Yeah, I did.
Well, I would start off by telling them all to dream big. It was all a dream of ours to someday be up here, and without that dream, we wouldn't be here. So, you know, that's the first step, and then I would tell them to work hard. Somebody once told me, you know, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, and you probably won't be, but there's no reason why you can't work harder than everybody else. So work as hard as you can, but really, you know, what I think is most important is have fun with whatever you do. We love our job. Of course, we love being up here, but the jobs we had before we arrived at NASA, we all loved them. So find a field that you're very passionate about, and if you love it, you're never going to have to work a day in your life. It's just really, really good. So, you know, I would pass that along and let people know.
Alejandro Villanueva,
you know,
I threw my teammates under the bus unintentionally.
Well, thanks.
Don't apologize for being a patriot.
A question in my role as chairman of the National Space Council, and our council will be meeting for the first time in Washington, D.C. In just a few short weeks. I'd love to know, how do you believe your work on the International Space Station day in and day out advances American leadership in space?
We just sent home a SpaceX Dragon cargo vehicle that carried science that we've been working on for a month up here. One of them was growing
sessions to declare free speech under attack on campus. So we're getting the academia figure out as well.
You know, cures for lung cancer. So one of our crewmates dubbed it the cancer-seeking missiles. Groundbreaking research like that up here on the International Space Station, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, is what keeps American leadership in space. The fact that there are companies that are building cargo vehicles coming to our space station, the fact that those same companies and new ones are building crewed vehicles that are going to come to our space station, that's how we maintain our leadership. But most of all, the place that you sit and the mission control that we talk to in Houston and all these other NASA centers, it's the work we do every day continuing to live and work in space and dealing with the challenges of not only the daily operations, but the longevity of the operations. You know, we're going into 6 decades of space in America. It's the daily stuff that we do and the challenges we keep putting in front of ourselves that maintain our leadership in space.
Well, that's a great answer, Commander, and I really appreciate that. We look forward to continuing to build on that as we develop policies in a broad range of areas to support American leadership in space. Well, with that, before you sail away, let me just say again, thank you so much for your service to the country. I know I speak on behalf of the President and every American when I say that literally and figuratively, we all look up to you. And we are grateful for your courage and your determination and the contribution that you make to American leadership in space. So God bless you and keep you. And I'd like to invite all 3 of you to the White House. I got to look at where you work. I'd love to walk you around where we work and have a chance to shake your hand and thank you after your long journey brings you home. So thanks so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Thank you for joining us on the International Space Station. And thank you most of all for your support of our exploration. And I think the National Space Council is going to do great work here in the future. We look forward to seeing it. Thank you. Good evening from the International Space Station.
So it looks as if that's kind of wrapping up, so I might as well just close it off now. That's done. Well, it's pretty interesting, that, you know. It's nice to see Pence just getting the job done. Absolutely sorting it out. Now, the interesting thing about, well, not just climate change, which is, you know, man-made climate change is very real. It recently killed everyone on the planet at once. Gun crime, as we know, a few months back was killing 97 million people a day. So subsequently, humanity has already been extinct. We're gone. We're just ghosts at this point. We seemingly just exist, which is really awkward because you've got these hurricanes that are trying to kill us. We've got earthquakes that are wiping people out. We've got, you know, there was an article at one point. Let's see if I can bring it up. If I search for Trump Mar-a-Lago hurricane. Yeah, so quite a lot of people were really looking forward to Mar-a-Lago getting hit. Look at that picture of Trump that they're using. Fucking hell. Like, he looks really scared, but the irony is that God was complete. You know, Bill Maher. Yeah, Breitbart talked about it. None of Trump's properties were damaged by Hurricane Irma, which shows there is no God. There is no God, guys.
But here's the most amazing thing of all. Amid all the destruction in the path of that hurricane, neither Mar-a-Lago, nor Trump's estate in St. Martin's, nor any of his golf courses in the path got damaged at all. They all escaped almost completely unscathed, which just goes to show something I have always believed. There is no God.
So Bill Maher has actually entered, well, he's wrong, because it's simply that, you know, a lot of Christians voted for him. So if anything, it would be proof that there is a God, because God is protecting him and his properties. For God to have a personal stake in Mar-a-Lago, that's pretty goddamn huge. We can all agree on this. Appears there's been a bit of breaking news. The Tennessee church shooter was wearing a tactical vest, had 2 guns during crime, was shooting a .40 and had AR-15 handgun in his car. He was preparing for war. This is a dude that really, really hated church. I'm not entirely sure why. It's yeah. So the Tennessee church thing, I presume that no one's actually talking about it on the MSN. It'd be surprising to me if somebody was talking about it on MSN. Why would you bring so many guns? I mean, I've got some of the images. Hang on, let me just add image. Yes, please. So if I go to event church shootings, this was my favorite one. Yeah, there you go. So you can see right there, Emmanuel K. Sampson shared Mike's video, "Stop Falling for Stupidity So Easily. You're more likely to be killed by a white man than a Muslim terrorist." This is a dude who on February 27th said this, and then shot down a church just like Dylan Roof. It's the exact opposite situation of that guy. So I'll just make this a little bit smaller now so that you can always remember that he posted that on his Facebook. I'm not entirely sure how to do an interview. So, what else is going on? A DC man pleads guilty to assaulting a stranger in her Northeast DC home. Neighbors call police, who arrest him. Now that's what your neighbors are there for. Your neighbors are there to actually stop this crap from going on. Ray Turner pled guilty today to 1 count of assault. God, Jesse K. Lewis just taking everybody down. Wonder how many crimes are just being left unsolved until she got involved. What's this? Can I just click this? This is Earth. It's hot. Don't pollute. That is a Paris Hilton. Can I just? I'm gonna copy the link to that tweet. I'm just gonna copy that. I'm just gonna post it right here. Enter. Just gonna make that a little bit bigger. This is Earth. It's hot. Don't pollute. You've heard it all now, guys. You've got your advice. You know what's happening. Please, for the love of God, stop. We are not Beijing. We are not China. We're not California. Stop. What an absolute mess. Absolute mess. Yes, I am open to doing interviews, but I'm just not entirely sure how to get it done. But I think, because it's 11 o'clock at night over here, I'm going to wrap up. I think it was a good test run. Oh wait, hang on, we just got one last thing. I'm just going to post this right in here. So, stock market ends lower as tech drop and North Korea threatens. Everything is completely falling apart. It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart, guys. Like, just draw out all your money. Do it now. Get to the nearest bank. Throw in your debit or credit card or whatever it is you have. The chip in the palm of your hand. Go to the nearest bank. Draw out all of your money. And then hide it. It is the only way that this, you know, the stocks, the crashing, it's happening now. Leave now. Do it now. Okay, Dow Jones down by 0.24%. The Visa Inc. down by 2.41%. Microsoft is profiting from people losing money, plus 0.34%. Microsoft, they've had this plan from the very beginning. This is how it ends. They're going to take over all the banks. Nasdaq down. Apple just changed. Apple literally just changed before my eyes. It's gone from being red to green. It's now plus 0.13%. North Korea seems to be under the impression that the US declared war against them, but the US wasn't the one firing missiles at North Korea. North Korea was the one tossing them around, you know, across Japan, making them scared enough to, ooh, let's get this open actually. I think I can do this. Japan, North Korea emergency siren. So very spooky, very spooky. Just got sent an image saying that gold has been increased by 1.28%. So if you have gold, you know, Trump is profiting right now, which means that this is a completely impeachable offence. You know, he recently sent Stephen Mnuchin to go check out Fort Knox to locate the gold, which he's just going to import directly into the Oval Office. And this is something that, you know, it's exclusive breaking. I found this information out from absolutely nowhere. I have no sources on this, but yeah, he's moved all the gold directly into the Oval Office. He's put it underneath his desk, and they're onto him. They you know, Mueller, he's got him. He's got his guy. He knows that the gold is there, and it's gonna come out. It's all gonna be, you know, Jim Acosta. He's gonna be the one to crack this case. He's gonna announce it on Twitter. God, he's a mess. He's an absolute mess, that man. Absolute mess. But gold is on the rise. So if you can find gold, keep it. Pirates used to search for gold specifically, and they had very good reason, because gold makes a lot of money. And the reason why gold increases during times of war is that people, generally speaking, when someone dies, they leave gold behind for people to eventually locate in the future, whether it's through a treasure chest or in a pot. If you're listening to a Legend of Zelda logic, they will be found the gold in a pot. So very, very, very interesting times. I'm fairly certain that Trump has actually turned the Resolute desk into a gold mine in itself. I think he's lined it with gold, and that's the reason why he never puts his feet up on it like the previous president. It's very interesting, very interesting. But yeah, it's like 11 o'clock at night here, so I'm gonna wrap up for today and probably do it again tomorrow. So have a good evening. I'll still be up. You know, I'll still be up for a few hours because I'm on holiday, but I'm going to wrap up the stream now. So have a good one.